Every day we encounter countless people in our lives. Some inspire trust with just a glance, while others drain our energy with their behavior. Among those around us, there are wise, understanding, and deeply thoughtful individuals. Unfortunately, there are also people who think superficially, make poor decisions, and exhaust our spirit. So why should we learn to recognize these types of people? Because the people we choose to surround ourselves with are one of the most powerful factors shaping our lives. If we spend time with intelligent, positive, and goal-oriented individuals, we gain strength from them and grow. But if we spend too much time with foolish, thoughtless, and irresponsible people, it drags us backward, depletes our inner strength, and can even steer our life path in the wrong direction. Recognizing such people early is not just a useful skill, it is a guardian of our personal happiness, emotional well-being, and success. We should not sacrifice our lives on meaningless relationships, baseless arguments, or wasted energy. In reality, this is not as difficult as it may seem. Just 5 simple but highly targeted questions can clearly reveal who is truly wise and who is only full of empty words. These questions act like a mirror, reflecting the other person's character, thought process, and true nature. If you want to protect your life from foolish people, enrich your surroundings with the right individuals, and preserve your inner strength. Let's explore these 5 questions together. But to fully understand them, watch this video until the end. I'd be thrilled if you subscribe, like, and share. Not only will it support the channel, but it can also help others. Are you ready? Let's get started. Step 1. Observe how they listen. The first step in understanding a person is to watch how they listen. Listening is not just hearing with your ears. It is showing respect, attention, and value to the speaker. If someone cannot listen, they will neither understand you nor appreciate you. One of the biggest traits of a foolish person is that they wait to respond, not to listen. While you speak, they are already planning what they will say next. They often interrupt, cut off your point, and confuse you. Sometimes this behavior is obvious, sometimes subtle, but the effect is the same. You feel unheard and undervalued. Imagine sharing your deepest concerns with a close friend, opening your heart, while they glance at their phone, send messages, or occasionally say, yeah, I understand, just to get you to stop talking. Should such a person have a place in your life? Of course not. A person who doesn't listen will never truly understand you. A wise person, however, is different. They truly listen. They maintain eye contact, do not interrupt, and thoughtfully absorb what you say. It may seem simple, but it is a clear sign of intelligence and respect. Listening is not just about opening your ears, it's about opening your heart. Remember, a person who cannot listen also cannot truly learn. A foolish person only talks but never gains depth. They assume they know everything but understand nothing. A wise person first listens, then thinks, and finally responds. Ask this question: why do you think being a good listener is important? A foolish person might answer casually, listening? It's just hearing, what's the big deal? A wise person would say, listening is half the battle to truly understand someone. If I don't listen, how can I ever understand the person in front of me? Notice the difference? The depth in their words is immediately evident. Listening forms the foundation of all relationships, from marriage to friendships, workplace interactions to daily conversations. If someone doesn't listen, the relationship can never be healthy, because communication is the root of understanding. Keep in mind, someone who doesn't listen will never fully understand you. Someone who doesn't understand you can never truly support you. Someone who can't support you will only make your life harder. Thus, the first and simplest way to recognize foolish people is by observing their listening skills. Do they interrupt you, drift off topic, or do they genuinely listen with interest? This simple observation can help you decide who to keep close and who to distance yourself from. The most important thing, don't waste time on someone who doesn't listen, because your most valuable resource is your time. Giving it to someone who won't even hear you is the greatest loss. Step 2. Observe how they handle mistakes. The second way to understand a person is to watch how they deal with mistakes. True character is revealed not in moments of success and comfort, but in moments of failure. A key trait of a foolish person is that they refuse to admit mistakes. Even when they are clearly wrong, they shift the blame onto others. Sometimes it's subtle. I didn't actually make a mistake. They just didn't understand, or I did everything right. But so-and-so got in the way. Sound familiar? Foolish people always see themselves as right. How does a wise person behave? They do not hide their mistakes. They understand that making mistakes is not a weakness, but part of growth. They say, yes, I made a mistake here, but it was a lesson for me. This simple statement reflects intelligence and strong character because admitting mistakes requires courage, honesty, and humility. Imagine a project fails at work. A foolish person will immediately blame others. My work was perfect, but they didn't deliver on time. Even if they didn't do their part properly, a wise person says, yes, I could have prepared better. I will learn from this for next time. Which person would you rather work with or be close to? The answer is obvious. Remember, a person who cannot admit mistakes cannot truly learn. Learning begins with asking, where did I go wrong and how can I fix it? Foolish people never ask this. They ignore their errors and repeat the same mistakes over and over. Here you can pose a test-like question. Do you remember the last time you admitted a mistake? If the person struggles to answer this question, or cannot even provide an example, it's a very serious signal. Making mistakes is inevitable. It's a law of life. So if someone cannot admit them, they are either lying to themselves or unwilling to be honest. In either case, this does not reflect a strong character. A wise person, on the other hand, will comfortably say, yes, last month I rushed a decision, and the result wasn't good, but I learned my lesson. The moment you hear this sentence, you immediately sense the person's honesty and capacity to learn. Mistakes cannot be avoided, but learning from them is not something everyone can do. In fact, a person's attitude toward mistakes largely determines their entire life. Someone who refuses to acknowledge mistakes is stuck in a cycle. They do not grow because they deny reality. But someone who admits their mistakes moves forward with each step. This is one of life's greatest paradoxes. Mistakes guide us. So the second question is simple, yet deeply meaningful. Does the person admit their mistakes, or do they always blame others? The answer you receive will clearly reveal the person standing before you. Remember, a person who admits mistakes is strong. A person who hides mistakes is weak. A person who blames others is irresponsible. If there are people in your life who hold you back and refuse to take responsibility for their mistakes, keep your distance. Such people will cloud your path. On the other hand, walking alongside someone who admits and learns from their mistakes will help you grow. The third way to recognize a foolish person is to pay attention to the topics they talk about most. A person's words clearly reveal what circulates in their mind and accumulates in their heart. In other words, conversation topics are a mirror of someone's level of thinking. Foolish people often repeat similar conversations. They constantly criticize others, gossip, and make it their business to discuss someone else's life. Often, they also try to artificially praise themselves. If I weren't here, this wouldn't have worked. I made the smartest decision. No one is better than me. These words are a mask to hide their inner emptiness. In reality, this behavior shows that a person who cannot find value within themselves tries to gain it by putting others down. A wise person is different. Their conversations touch on life's deeper aspects. They speak about personal growth, new knowledge, books they've read, lessons learned, challenges faced, and the insights gained from them. A wise person knows that every word they speak plants a seed in the minds of others. They express themselves by deepening the conversation, not by belittling others. Imagine sitting down with someone to talk. The topic begins and the person immediately starts discussing others. Do you know what happened at so-and-so's house? Did you hear what that colleague said? His child did this. As the conversation continues, you feel it contributes nothing. Instead, it leaves a sense of emptiness. This is a typical conversation with a foolish person. But if you are talking to a wise person, the experience is completely different. After leaving the conversation, you feel enriched. Every word either taught you something new, touched your soul, or motivated you. The time spent with them is productive, not wasted. In fact, a person's conversation topics reveal their level of thinking. Small-minded people talk about others. Average people talk about events. Great people talk about ideas. This is a simple but profound truth. If someone constantly discusses others, they are still small-minded. Explaining events shows an average mindset. Sharing ideas, however, signals growth and wisdom. Here you can ask a simple question. What topics interest you the most? The answer will reveal everything. A foolish person immediately talks about superficial matters. Tricks to make money. Who said what? Who got what? Who met whom? A wise person, however, will speak about life, values, and personal growth. Their answers provide nourishment for thought. Why does this matter? Because the people we spend time with shape our thoughts. If you constantly hear criticism, gossip, and empty chatter, over time, you unconsciously focus on the same shallow topics. But if you regularly hear wise, profound conversations, your mind grows and your spirit strengthens. So the third question is simple but instantly reveals a person's character. What topics do they talk about most? Do their conversations uplift you or bring you down? The answer will clearly show whom to allow into your life. Remember, a person whose conversation is shallow will empty your life. A person whose conversation is deep will enrich your soul. The fourth important way to recognize a foolish person is to test their empathy. Empathy is not just putting yourself in someone else's shoes. It is also feeling their emotions, understanding their pain, and sharing in their joy. This is a fundamental trait of intelligent people because they understand that we are all connected. Life is not just about me. A foolish person is completely the opposite. They are indifferent to the feelings of others. Their own interests come first above everything else. If someone is in pain, that suffering does not concern them. Sometimes, a foolish person even secretly takes pleasure in someone else's misfortune, thinking, "Good thing this didn't happen to me." For them, empathy is a sign of weakness. In reality, however, empathy is a sign of strength and wisdom. Let's try a simple test. Ask the person in front of you, if your close friend were in a difficult situation, how would you help them? The answer to this question will reveal everything. A foolish person will either avoid the topic or give a cold response. Help? Everyone should live their own life. I have enough of my own problems. If they didn't care about themselves, why should I? Such answers show how indifferent they are to the feelings of others. Being close to such a person is dangerous because if you ever face hardship, they will not be there for you. A wise person, however, will answer completely differently. I would do whatever I could. At the very least, I would be there and listen. I would treat their difficulty as if it were my own. These responses reveal their inner depth. Even if they cannot do something significant in practice, simply being present, offering comfort, or listening is already a huge support. Empathy means feeling someone else's emotions and not remaining indifferent to them. In fact, without empathy, there is no love, no true friendship, and no real humanity. Love is feeling another person. Friendship is having each other's back, and humanity is touching someone else's pain. If a person lacks these qualities, they are merely a prisoner of their own small world. Test this in your own life. Tell someone close to you a simple story, for example, about someone facing difficulty, someone left alone, or someone in need of help. Observe their reaction. If you see indifference or even a hint of mockery in their eyes, know that this person lacks empathy. But if their eyes soften, their voice changes, and they start thinking about ways to help, then you are dealing with a person with a genuine heart. For a wise person, showing empathy does not weaken them, it strengthens them. By supporting others, they actually enrich themselves. A foolish person, on the other hand, impoverishes themselves by remaining indifferent to others. Therefore, the fourth question is crucial. It may seem simple, but it opens a window into the depths of a person's heart. If your close friend were in a difficult situation, how would you help them? Their answer will clearly reveal their character, their nature, and even how they might act towards you in the future. A person without empathy can never be a true friend. One of the most effective ways to recognize a foolish person is to look at their future plans. A person's level of thinking, goals, and approach to life are revealed most clearly here. A foolish person either has no plans for the future at all, or their plans are superficial and unserious. They often think, tomorrow is in God's hands. We should just live. Why make plans? Nothing really depends on us anyway. This attitude reflects their irresponsibility and lack of deep understanding of life. A person who does not think about the future undervalues both today and tomorrow. Now imagine asking a simple question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? This question is perhaps the strongest key to understanding what kind of person someone will be in the future. A foolish person often gives vague answers or completely empty dreams. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll have some job, we'll try. I'll be rich, make lots of money. These answers reveal their level of thinking. For a wise person, being rich or working is not a sufficient goal. They can describe the steps to reach their goals and their personal development journey. A wise person might answer differently. In 5 years, I want to have grown further in my field, gained new knowledge, and become a more useful person. I want to build my family and live a life strong both morally and materially. I have several goals and to write a book, start a new business, and contribute to society. See the difference? Such answers reveal the depth of a person's thinking and their sense of responsibility. In fact, a question about the future also shows a person's self-confidence. A person who cannot envision the future often lacks faith in the present as well. Their steps are random and their actions are purposeless. Forming close relationships, collaborations, or serious plans with such a person is highly risky because you cannot predict their decisions or direction. Naturally, our lives are largely shaped by the people we choose to surround ourselves with. If we spend our time with aimless, futureless people, we unconsciously fall under their influence. A person without plans can even take away your own motivation. On the other hand, being with people who have goals and think about the future provides inspiration, energy, and direction. Imagine a friend telling you, "In 5 years, I want to start my own business, help people, and create a better life." Naturally, you will be inspired. Their energy will affect you positively. But if someone says, "I don't know, I just go with the flow," you will absorb their indifference. So the fifth question is crucial. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Their answer will tell you an incredible amount about their depth of thought, responsibility, life philosophy, and even their potential tomorrow. A person who cannot see their future is in reality directionless today as well. Let's recap. Why should we ask these 5 simple questions? Because they are one of the most powerful ways to understand a person, their inner world, thought process, values, and character. Each question acts like a light, revealing who the person is. 1. Listening skills. Show their respect and attention toward others. 2. Attitude toward mistakes. Reveals honesty, humility, and willingness to grow. 3. Conversation topics. Indicate intellectual level, interests, and depth. 4. Empathy. Measures the size of their heart and sensitivity toward others. 5. Future plans. Reveal whether they are purposeful and what they value in life. Recognizing foolish people early is not just an interesting exercise. It is the key to protecting your life, directing your energy wisely, and surrounding yourself with the right people. Every moment spent with a foolish person can pull you back, drain your energy, and even complicate your path in life. A wise person, on the other hand, moves you forward, enriches your soul, and guides you toward genuine growth. Remember, life is short, and our most valuable assets are our time and energy. Don't waste that energy on empty people. Recognize them in time, maintain your distance, and surround yourself with the right people. These simple yet powerful strategies will bring both ease and long-term happiness into your life. Dear viewer, if you found this video helpful, like it, share it, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos, and turn on the notification bell, because each new video is a key to a new wisdom for you. Fill your life with valuable people. Don't waste your time on emptiness, and always make wise choices. See you in the next video.